So I would say pain or panic or fear is simply just this. And there's no one there already to experience that.
Mm.
In the story, it may seem as if there is or in the experience of separation, it may seem as if there is a real somebody there who's actually experiencing that. But it's just a story. Even the story itself is just an expression of this. It's just this expressing as a story. But there is no one who's experiencing a story, who has a story. I would say it's just an empty appearance in this.
Mm. Thank you.
Nothing belongs to anyone because there's no one here. There is no one here already to know that there is no one. There's just wholeness. There's just this. It may express as a thought that seems to say, there must be something other than this. It can't be just this. But I'm not getting it. That's just this expressing as that. There's no one who's saying, I can't get it. There's no one who's saying there must be something other than this. It's just this already. There's no one who's not doing anything. There's no one who's doing something. And this doesn't see the other. There are no others already. There's no one who's asking a question, who's trying to get an answer, who's giving an answer, who's disturbed, who's not okay. Everything is this. There's no one watching. There's just this watching. So you have never done anything. You have never said anything. You have never done anything wrong, and you are not responsible for anything. Yet in the story, it may seem as if there's somebody who's responsible. In the dream of separation, it may seem as if there's a real doer who's doing things. That's exactly how this may seem to express being a doer who's doing things, going to the left, going to the right. There's no one there. It's not an evidence that there's a real somebody. There's just a dream. There's just this expressing at that, thinking that there's something to get is this already. Thinking, not thinking. Smiling, not smiling. Smoking, not smoking. It's just this already. And it's beautiful for nobody. There's no wrong or right here. There's already no one here to fall away. There's already no one here to get or to understand what is being spoken. There's just speaking happening and listening happening. Laughter happening.
Yeah, the other day it hit me. I wrote it in my diary. There's no personal responsibility. I've Because I've been listening to this, that's the conclusion I came to. There's no personal responsibility, and I think that's what you were referring to. And I've lived my life based on being a responsible person, and then all of a sudden I hear this message and love it, and I think, oh, thank God, there's no personal responsibility. What freedom!
Yeah,
Because
there's
that's what you were saying, Casey, wasn't it? That there's no personal responsibility. That's what I hear you saying. Yeah.
yeah, this isn't personal, you know.
Mm,
What's just happening has no doer.
mm,
The responsibility itself is empty.
mm.
The anger that may seem to arise is already empty. Frustration is empty. It's just floating. Suspicions,
Anxiety, anxiety,
yes.
anxiety. Yeah.
Anxiety too, depression.
Mm, mm.
There are no opposites. Everything is this already. There's no one here to experience anything. There's no real Dawn. There's no real Michael. There's no real Alice. There's no real Gossi. Dawn, Michael, Gossi, Alice, or whoever is this already. The words that may seem to be appearing is just this expressing itself. Any question that may seem to arise is just this asking a question, it's just this giving an answer. So, yeah. And this has never spoken to anybody. And this right now isn't speaking to anybody. It's not trying to convince anybody. It's not trying to get anybody to understand what is being spoken. It's just this right here, this. There's nowhere to get to. There's nothing to achieve. There's simply what is. thinking, thoughts, moving. Maybe there must be something wrong here. Today I don't get that clarification I want. It may appear to say that, it may appear to say, but I don't like how he explains, he discusses. I don't like how he represent this. I prefer listening to somebody else. It is just this already expressing of that. There's no one doing that already. So it's okay. Everything is beautiful because everything is an expression of this.
Well, and Koti, if I may interrupt, Faith kind of started her question with she was feeling panic and fear. And I have also been going through a story and without going into the story, but I also have fear and apprehension and like something bad's going to happen to me and that kind of thing. And then you say that we are not separate, and that makes sense way up here. But then I'm thinking like, well, what do I meanwhile do with this? Um, I guess that I would like to have more of a, but there can't really be much of a bridge between where I'm at and that. It's just like you have to see that, and that's it, huh? Does that make sense what I'm saying? Even?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, there's actually nobody here to see anything, and there's no one who's going through anything already. It's just what's arising in this, as this, all the emotions, the sense of fear, the panic, thinking that something is gonna happen to me. It's just this expressing it that there isn't anyone who's actually experiencing anything here. There's simply just this. Even thinking that there must be something other than this is just this already. There's really nowhere to get to. There's no one here to get rid of anything already. Even when there's a thinking that maybe I would be able to get rid of this, that's this expressing as that. There's no one thinking that already. There's no one doing anything. No one listening already. Everything is this. Mhm.
So why is there such a damn resistance to seeing that, to fighting it, to know that's where my joy would
Yeah, there's nowhere to get to. Even the resistance, this may appear as a resistance, may appear as no resistance.
even that,
There's
huh?
really no escaping this. There's no escape. The separate self who thinks or who appears to be a doer is already not there. There's just what's happening. Even thinking that there is a real separate self is just what's happening. It's not personal. There's no one who has life. There's just life. There's no possessor of life. There's no one to lose it. There's simply just life. Expressing, even expressing itself as somebody who thinks that has life. There are no limitations. There's already no sufferer. There is no woman or man here already. There are no human beings. There's no one living. Therefore, there's no one to die. Somebody living life is just a story. It's just an empty story. Somebody experiencing panic and fear is just a story. It's just what seems to be happening. It's not personal. It doesn't belong to anyone. And there is already no separate happening that is happening somewhere else. Even thinking that there's a separate happening that is happening somewhere else is already this, just this. There is no separation. There's no you who's feeling any emotion. There's no you who's looking for this. There's no you who's looking for answers. There are no real answers and there are no real questions. There are no real things. There are no things. It's just this. This isn't a thing that can be pointed at. Words themselves can never really describe this. The words can be seen as just concepts. You know, even saying this is everything, this is nothing, it's just, you know, means nothing. This is worthless. It doesn't require a word to be spoken for it to be what it is. It's already what it is with or without words. It's already here. Even any thought, before any thought may arise, it's already here. Before any seeking may arise, it's already here. It's already the case. Even before what appears to be a finder may arise, it's already here. Yet even what appears to be a finder is just this already. There is no real finder, separate finder. The recognition that there is no one here, there's simply just this, doesn't belong to anyone. There is no one already who can recognize that there's just this, there's no one here. thinking that you will eventually find this. It is just this already. There's no one doing the thinking. In the same way, there is no one doing the heartbeats. In the same way, there's no one doing the blood flowing in your veins. It's simply happening. There's just blinking happening. Nobody's doing it. So in the same way, no one is doing thinking, asking a question, giving an answer, waiting, listening. Everything's empty because everything is this already.